It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. I'll start again. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. Son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up his smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me. As a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. You are, aren't you? And you've got us feeling all right. Hope so. Now, Paul, he's a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. Oh, and the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. Well, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. You better be. You've got us feeling all right. That's a pretty good crowd for Sunday. And the manager, she waves politely, like the Queen. And she gives me a half-baked smile. Cause she knows it's for me. Cause she knows that it's me they've been coming to see. They've been coming to see. Oh, sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it. Now that there, that's an opera singer, you see, superstar. That's me. 'cause she knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. Oh, and the piano sounds like a carnival, and the microphone it smells like a beer, and they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar. Listen, man, what are you doing here? Good question. La la la, la la la. It's for you, that's why I'm here. La la la, la la la, la la la. Sing with me now. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Sorry, what?
Good evening, everyone. Lovely to see you. Quieten down in the royal box up there, please. You're making a bit too much noise for everyone who's in the stalls. I'm very sorry about that.
I know this robot, and yet, happy 30th.
Happy 30th.
Everybody.
Yes, 30 weeks. I can't believe it. It seemed too good to be true at the beginning, but here we all are still. 30 weeks on.
in.
Amazing.
And still going strong.
Still going strong. And for those who are joining us for the first time tonight, welcome. We are delighted that you are here.
We are.
And in particular, I'd like to welcome someone called Denise. I hope you've managed to find your way in, but it's lovely to have you here with
Denise,
us.
is this?
This is Rachel's friend.
Rachel. And we welcome also Graham, and this is one song you forgot to put in, Graham the decorator's daughter.
I forgot to put in.
And it's my fault. Did you put that in? No, it's my fault. And Graham, your daughter, I can't remember her name now. So write in if you've signed in now. Graham is a great friend, and he recommended that you join us tonight. And we're just great, just glad to have you. All right. Thrilled to have you. Just write in if you. I think is it Denise. I cannot remember your surname. I cannot remember. It just slipped my mind. But welcome anyway.
Welcome anyone.
And we welcome Graham and Sadie, and I'll sing you a song.
We'd like to say a big welcome to Sylvia, who's in Guy's Hospital tonight, listening from her bed.
Having had a major operation.
Major operation a week ago, 10 days
something
ago.
like that. And you're going to be great. And it's I've talked to your son Mark, and
good stuff.
Things are happening, and congratulations on another grandchild, great-grand.
So it's a granddaughter and a grandson born to you recently, Sylvia. But we're really pleased that you're with us. So thank you for joining us.
And this one is for you.
You might want to sing along a bit quietly tonight.
Look at me. I've just recorded this one for this volume 2 of the album being released next year, and I did it with the jazz trio, and it goes a bit like this. Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, and I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud. I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way, or 1,000 violins begin to play. What might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear? I get misty whenever you're near. Don't you know that you're leading me on? But it's just what I want you to do. Can't you know that I'm hopelessly lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own. When I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. Don't you know that you're leading me on? But it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice I'm hopelessly lost? That's why I'm following you. When I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hand from my glove. I'm too misty, too much in love. And too much in love. I can't remember the last time. The last time I played that
That's
was
a long
your
time
dad.
ago. Yeah,
Your
Christmas.
dad loved it, and he's been dead, what, 15 years now?
Yeah.
And I played it for him one Christmas, and he said, "Oh," and he stood at the piano. And he said, "Oh, John." He used to sing Cockles and Mussels. He used to stand at the side of the piano and went, and he was about 4'6".
He was not.
And
he was a bit taller.
and he went, you sing Cockles and Mussels alive, alive, oh. And we used to sing a duet together. That song, when I sing it, will be dedicated to him.
Yeah, definitely.
And to his memory. A great man. A great man.
They're all a bit concerned because your glasses are sort of slowly slipping down your head.
I forgot I had them on.
Yes.
It's a bit like the 80-hour girdle.
Yes. Jerry
way.
thought that might be the case.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. I mean, it is like the 80-hour girdle. You know that one? Oh, I didn't know. She was walking up the steps of BOAC. There it is. She's at the top of the steps, and she turns round, looks at the camera, and says, "My 80-hour girdle, my playlist girdle. I didn't know I had it on." And that's how I feel about my girdle too. So, right, let's see. I needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I wanna stop and thank you, baby, I wanna stop and thank you, baby. Oh, oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I close my eyes at night, wonder where I'd be without you in my life. Everything I did was such a bore. Oh, and everywhere I went, I've been there before. But you brought enough for me all of my days, with a love so sweet and so many ways. I wanna stop, thank you, baby. I wanna stop and thank you, baby. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Sing it with me, come on, sir. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Last time. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Come on, everybody, join in. How sweet it is to be loved by you. You've got no smile? Try doing it not smiling. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Yeah, Sue can do that. She's got loads of practice. How sweet it is to be loved by you. And I have to tell you, I've never done it that quickly in the whole of my life. I don't know why I did it.
Particularly for Jackie and William, you had that to leave the church when you got married 7 years ago. So
really?
Congratulations, guys.
What? Who sung it?
Rushton. And I think they used your track.
My track?
Yes, your track.
You're
to
joking.
Leave the church.
My track. You
track.
used my track to leave the church. We mean when everybody else had gone. So the whole of the track was being played whilst they were outside throwing confetti. They didn't hear the track. Can you not hear that? All they heard was the first 4 bars. What are you thinking? Why didn't you have it to come in? What's wrong with you? How sweet. That's it. And then, listen, do you know what? I think I'm missing a trick. Because at weddings, if I sing at weddings, I should have a kind of a wedding discount. And if I sing at funerals, I should definitely get a discount. I should sell my albums at the back, right? In funerals. You think it's a bad idea?
What, 15 people buying them?
You know, if you can give me the death certificate, I'll give you a free album. I'm just trying to think of ways of making money in these cash-strapped times.
Well, not enough people go to funerals now. So.
This is a bit of a problem, isn't it? So therefore, if you come and you're only 20 people in the funeral, you'll get a discount. Buy one, get 4 free. We're looking at desperate times means desperate measures. This is for Karen.
Yeah. Her dad used to sing this, so just as my dad used to sing the Misty, so her dad used to sing this one, and she wants this in memory of him.
And the new album, probably, I can say comfortably, as in the jazz terms, this is one of the versions of this song.
Beautiful. It is beautiful.
I was listening to it the other day, in all humility, it's probably one of the best tracks I've ever recorded in my life. Of course, you may disagree. Falling leaves drift by my window, the falling leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the sunburn of summer kisses, the sunburn hands I used to know. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear, oh, winter song, but I miss you most of all, my darling, you. When autumn leaves start to fall, since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song, but I miss you most of all, my darling, you. When autumn leaves start to fall, I miss you most of all, oh my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall, to fall, to fall, to fall. And I have to say,
Beautiful.
to all of you out there, a lot of people have lost, and recently, and that song, it makes me very, especially at this time in my my own journey about life and death and all the threats that there are to that. We have to face it, and we also have to hold the hand. And this is what these evenings are about. We're about, you've got a friend. We're putting our arm around you. Particularly, we think about people who are on their own tonight.
Yeah.
And we think of Pat Woolridge. Pat, I'm speaking directly to you right now. And I know that you've had a brief exchange with Sue. And I just want you to know that this time that we really do understand about how you're feeling, that loneliness, that intense loneliness. I don't tell many people this, but I spent most of my career in intense loneliness, and loneliness is what I learnt to do, living in hotel rooms in different countries, 27 different countries over the world. And it was what I do. I'd have to leave and go away for 2.5, 3 months and just live in a room, and Sue would be phoning me, and I'd try and get home if I could, see the boys for 24 hours, and I'd fly back again, and I'd be away for huge chunks of my life for years and years. 1 2 period, I was away for 18 months of that life. And so I understand when you talked about loneliness and being isolated, I speak to you and I speak to others when we say you've got a friend. Okay, that's what this exists to do, amongst other things, and to just give you hope.
And it's hard.
There's change, and it's hard.
It's hard because you're on your own, and for many of you, you're in areas where it's being locked down further, and so we are aware of that. But here you are with family, and we are delighted that you are with us, listening.
And tonight we can't. I've got a wonderful special guest who's coming in very soon. I'm going to just do a couple of bits and bobs that I just want to talk about, and I want to sing this "When I Fall in Love." Who's this for?
This is for Christine. Again, I think this reminds her of her dad.
It will be forever.
But I'd also like to say this is for Mike Bailey. It's your birthday today. Tomorrow, it's your lovely wife's birthday. I think she's 80 tomorrow.
Oh, I'll never
Sheila.
fall.
Happy birthday, guys.
In love. In a restless world like this is, love is over before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses. She too cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, it's when I fall in love with you. Big piano solo. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, it's when I fall in love with It's like something out of a tea room, isn't it, in the 1950s?
Yeah, but they're enjoying them.
I'm sorry about that. I think I could do one more, and then I'm going to do. Now, this one is for Roxanne. It's a version of a song I rewrote. Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to Thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in endless praise. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of Thy love. Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for Thee. Take my voice and let me sing, always only for my King. Take my lips and let them be filled with messages from Thee. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my intellect and use every power as thou shalt choose. Take my will and make it thine, it shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is thine own, it shall be thy royal throne. Take my love, my Lord, I pour at thy feet is treasure store. Take myself, and I will be ever only all for thee, ever only all for thee. Gosh, it's been a long time since I sang that one as well. Now, I'm going to phone a friend. The reason I'm going to phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Phone a friend.
I just need to talk to somebody about this a little bit better. We and then afterwards we're going to have a special guest going to come into the studio and be with us, and it's really worth it. Do not go off and make the tea. Do not miss this.
You're not going to want to miss this.
You're not going to miss this. It's great. And what spurred this phone call that I'm going to make now is what I would consider, I do not, as you know, get political on these shows, and I never will be, and it's not a particle point. I just think it's a bigger picture political point that I think we in this community need to reflect, and I think I posted it on my private page, and various people say, well, the government didn't actually do this. What it said was it's changed the voucher scheme, but what it's called is bad politicking. That's what it's called. When you send the sign out to people who are poor already and victimised, and you say, we gave you £1,000 last year, 3 months ago, in your universal credit. For some people, that doesn't come through enough. And for many people, that's £20 a week that has already gone because they've lost their jobs in a gig economy where they've got no work at all. And so actually the idea of feeding children and just saying, yes, we will do it for this time, because we are in extraordinary times. And the person I talked to with Pat Waldridge is one person who bakes for the hungry. And she feeds at her local, she does her food bank, and she bakes, and her oven blew up, and we were going to bless her and try and change, but in fact, it's okay, that's sorted. But I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to put my hand up, and I'm going to say, what we need a new attitude and a new stepping forward of the church, not the stepping back of the church. And people of conscience and of faith and of no faith, which is what this community is. People come and join this whether they have faith or whether they don't have faith. But we need to step forward and we say people need to eat, and children particularly need to eat. We don't need ideologues. We do not need people talking about what they should have done and what they shouldn't have done. The children are here in front of us right now, and our position now is to feed them, not to not feed them, because we believe in some greater political principle. This is the time. Now is the time. So I'm just going to find somebody who knows a little bit about this and just talk to him about feeding. Is it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's hope
Hello, young man.
Andy. How are you?
How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. And it's lovely. Now, we must state an interest here that Andy Hatvarney and Jill Hatvarney, they are my son's in-laws. So normally they'd be called outlaws, but actually they're great friends and very, very good people. And I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. Andy, tell us what you spend
Thank you very much.
Spend a lot of your time doing. We haven't got much time, but I just want to talk to you about this right now.
Okay, go on.
What do you spend a lot of your time, your spare time now you're retired, doing? What do you do?
Well, Jonathan, the spare time is, as you know, looking after the grandchildren when we can, seeing them when we can.
Yeah.
But more important than that, I don't know, apart from the fact that Jill and I volunteer at the local food bank, the North Enfield Food Bank. We've been doing it between us for about 14 years now.
Gosh.
And the fact is that we've been never been as busy. Jonathan, it is manic.
Really?
We have got, this is the same for a lot of food banks, not just ours. Yeah. But the only way that we can survive is by good people like yourselves and others donating to food banks. Without you guys, we'd be closed. We would be closed. The fact is, at the moment, Jonathan, we are in the position of looking after something in the region of 20 to 25 families every shift.
Gosh.
That's a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Saturday. During the lockdown, when we had it back in summer, we were looking at over 50 families together with food parcels going out to families that couldn't get to the food bank.
Goodness. I mean, Andy, this sounds like something that you would never have imagined ever happening. I mean, could you ever have seen it happening in this country?
No, I couldn't. When I first started, when I retired, I had time on my hands, as you said, and I thought, I'll give it a go, see what it's like. See what it's like on the other side of the fence, and yes. I need to give something back to the community. And we've been moved from various points within Enfield, and we've got bigger all the time, and there are more challenges all the time. And every day that we go to the food bank is completely different. Yes. The number of people coming in, the type of person coming in, they've all got their special needs of some sort with regards to food. And unfortunately, let's not get political about this, Jonathan. The decision last week has really brought it home to a lot of people. Yes. That unfortunately MPs can get subsidised meals. Yes. Yet we can't feed the children.
And I really want to make that point to people. I want to make one other point, which is, I mean, do you find that the people that are coming are these what people would be characterised as scroungers? That are these, are they just in for a quick free tin of beans? What is that what you're seeing, or is there something deeper here?
Jonathan, you are totally wrong. The people who come to see us, if you were to film the people coming in, which obviously we can't do, you would see how low they are at the moment. Mm. Yes? Yes. They couldn't be any lower, some of them, Jonathan. They're coming in, and Jill is at the front end. Yes. And she deals with the food that's going out to people. I deal with the food coming in. But we all see the people, we know that they're hurting, and they keep on coming because there's nothing else for them. They have to come. Yes. They have to come.
Thank you. Look, Andrew, I would talk about. I'm going to talk to you about this another time. I will. I think we're going to talk in detail about what the implications are. I've got to move on, but I wanted to.
No problem.
I wanted to get from you now. Everybody watching, listen to what Andy and Jill are saying. This is not, whatever you may have read, that is not what's happening. These are not people who are scroungers. These are people who are at the end of their beam. They have nothing. And so when we see something like this, write to your MP and do something to change the story. And whatever you can do, if you can contribute to Food Bank, and if you'd like to, we will put up some details for Enfield Food Bank. If Claire, I hadn't asked Claire to do this, and Rachel, if you can find way back in when there was an Enfield Food Bank. I
think people need to give to their local.
You can get You can give
to
a local food bank.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jonathan.
But
Jonathan,
go on.
Can I just say something?
Yes, go on.
That we had a young lady came to us yesterday. She has a family in West London. Yes. who own like a Costco. Yes. One of these outlets. Yes. And she is willing to get them to donate food to Enfield, as well as the locals around Wembley and Harrow. So for the good people who are listening to you, there's a food bank close by.
Close to you.
There's a food bank close by to them, and I'm sure that they would be able to help them in some way, shape, or form.
Let's do it. Whatever we do, let's feed people and feed the families. Let's feed the children, and let's put pressure on our own MPs to have basically a more compassionate approach towards this. Andy, it's been, as always, a joy to speak to you.
And to you, Jonathan.
Bless you both in your work, and thank you, and I keep listening. God bless you.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Love to Sue.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Bye. Lovely. And a man who sticks by what he does. I love that about him. Now!
Are you not? I'm not going to do the other couple of songs that were on that list.
What's the? Well, I'm running out of time.
I know you're running out of time.
We might put the.
Okay.
Well, I might sing them while he's in here, but let's.
Okay, fine.
There's what? Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Stand by, Paul. From glen to glen and down the mountainside, the summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you must go and I must abide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow, and I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. I can't do the whole thing, but that was for
Kelly.
Kelly on
your
her
birthday. Kelly
birthday.
and Victoria asked us to do that one for you.
Kings, one verse of this.
This is for Rachel, Michelle, and Trish.
Majesty, God of heaven, living in me, gentle Savior, closest friend, strong deliverer, beginning and end. All within me cries out in praise. Your Majesty, I can but bow. I lay my heart before you now. In royal robes I don't deserve, I live to serve your Majesty. The chorus again. Your Majesty, I can but bow. I lay my all before you now. In royal robes I don't deserve, I live to serve your Majesty. I live to serve your Majesty. I live to serve your Majesty. That's about it. And standing outside the door now, here he is, ladies and gentlemen,
All the way to the front.
all the way from Devon. All the way he put a shirt on, my goodness.
You look like twins.
We're not twins.
Look at
We could be brothers from a different mother. Now get in front of that camera. Here is that good. Big round of applause now, Mr. Paul Field. Come on, claps, hearts. I want loads of them, please. Loads of them. Come on. He's come all the way from Devon with his lovely wife Ruth. You there? Are they clapping? Right, there we are. Oh look, look, Ruth is clapping on her own back there.
this in without going back.
Yeah, go bang. Go on, just go bang. There we go. Done.
Marvellous.
Paul,
What shall I do?
willkommen.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Very nice to be
Nice
here.
to see you. It's lovely welcoming you into JV in the Steinway Room, and we've had a bit of fun, and we went on longer than usual. I phoned somebody about things, and so I got excited, and but you are here with us to the end of the show now, and we've got so much to talk about, to find out things that I don't know, and we're just here having a chat. And those of you who don't know, how can you not know? This is a man, the legend, the superstar, the songwriter, the shy man, and the lovely man and friend that is Paul Field. Now, Paul, this is the first time you've played. Would that be fair? Since March?
It's the first time I've played outside of my own studio. Not since March. I mean, during the beginning of lockdown, at the very beginning, I posted a song, Wonder, just live from my studio.
Yes. That's a beautiful studio.
Just for the heck of
lovely
it.
studio.
And I got a lot of responses from that.
Not surprising.
As you're finding from what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I'll keep doing this. And I ended up posting 75 songs in a row.
Oh my goodness.
One every day. And I went back through some of the old Nutshell catalogue.
Now, Nutshell, tell us. We want to talk about. Do you know what? Why don't you just sing us a song, right?
Okay.
Sing any song you like. This is your thing, and I'm just here to accompany you and sing along with records that we made together and songs that we wrote together as well. But you've written some.
Well,
how many songs have you written over the years?
there's about best part of 900 in the PRS catalogue. I wouldn't say they're all good ones.
900.
It's quite a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been doing it a long time.
You've been here a long time, and you said to me you're semi-retired now. You're not retired.
Well,
Stop it. We don't retire.
Retired in terms of gigs and stuff. That's rather forced on us, isn't it, really? And actually playing live.
To play live. No, you don't. See, I love playing
Oh,
live.
so do I. I miss it.
I miss it, yes, terribly. The audience and you.
I've really missed just playing with other human beings. And bearing in mind there aren't any around, I'm playing with you. So
No,
that's really nice.
See, they like that kind of thing. They do. And they're going to be lots of laughter at that one. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? It was nice getting out we were just playing out in my studio, out in the garden, and we just started playing and smiling.
Yeah.
Actually, there's something about making music.
Exactly. It's really hard. I mean, and I'm so sorry for all of, I'm fortunate because I'm 66 years old now.
Yes.
I'm not reliant on touring and playing in gigs and getting out there, but there's so many people and friends who are.
Still, yeah.
It's more than just their income. I mean, it's their life.
Yes. I think that's what the Chancellor didn't understand when he talked about retraining.
Oh, retraining, marvellous idea. I've not seen Boris retrain as a ballet dancer.
Yeah, what would you do? What would you do? Actually, if you
What would I do?
retrain.
I'd probably do something very sensible, like be an electrician and someone or a plumber.
Would you really?
Could
Actually, you're
make
quite
some
good
money.
though, aren't you, with your hands?
No,
Are you not?
Don't say that too loud. With Ruth sitting.
All right.
I'm
I
useless.
thought you were quite.
I'm useless. I've got a son who's really good.
Ah, right. I'm
Not
mixing
me.
you up.
You are indeed. You've probably seen his handiwork.
No. Look, sing us a song. God, just sing us a song. What are you going to sing us?
Well, since you started off mentioning Nutshell, why don't we go back to a really old song,
Yeah.
which I know you know because
Yeah.
you've sung this.
Go on.
And this is, well, so if I play the intro, let's see if anybody recognises
What key
it
is it?
quick enough. It's in D.
Oh, D. Everything's in
everything
D.
I
We're
do.
all everything. You and me, and we write everything in D.
I know,
Okay.
I always think if I start doing concerts again, I'm going to
D.
bill them as an evening in D with
Yeah,
Paul Field.
it's okay. We were having this session the other day, and Bryn Howarth was playing, and he just refused to play a G. So there you are, you see. It's just the kind of, I get it.
Yeah, there you go. So you'll know this one, Johnson.
Go on. Wonderful.
I'm nothing without you. I'm not ashamed to say. Sometimes still I doubt you along my way. I am nothing without you. I'm an eagle with no wings. If I forget about you, I'll lose everything. My heart's an empty stage. Oh, let your play begin. My life's an empty page for you to color in your love.
Okay. It's such a common feeling to be misunderstood, but from you there's no concealing. You know my bad and good, so I'm not pretending. My story never fades, but I've already read the ending, and your love prevails. My heart's an empty stage.
Oh, let your play begin. Oh, my life's an empty page for you to color in. Color in your love. When I think of all the years I've wasted, all the high ideals, all the crazy dreams, if only every man could taste the wine I've tasted, we'd begin to learn what freedom really means.
I am nothing without you. I'm not ashamed to say, but sometimes still I doubt you along my way. I'm nothing without you, yes. I'm an eagle without wings. If I forget about you, I'll lose everything,
Oh, my heart's an empty stage. Won't you let your play begin?
Oh, let your play begin.
My life's an empty page for you to color in your love. nothing without you. Wow, man, nice to play that again.
What
That
a man
was
you are. Do you
amazing.
know how long that's been since I played that?
Do you know how long it is since I wrote it?
When did you write it?
I think, I'm never exactly accurate in the years, it's probably about 77.
God.
Something like that. 77.
Amazing.
17 then.
Yes, so was I. Well, I was 7 actually. I was a child prodigy. If only.
So, are we having some nice responses?
They are just loving it. They're really, really happy for you to be here, and they all loved that song.
Yeah.
Thought it was amazing. Someone's just said, David Hicks said, can we put the clocks back an hour so that we can have an extra hour of Paul and Jonathan singing? Because they're just enjoying the fact that you're enjoying playing and singing
well, do you know
together.
what?
That's what's coming across.
Okay,
yeah.
and if this is a moment where, and we did say we'd end up doing this, but I don't care. Paul has, he was the second album I did, recorded a gospel album, and it was, I recorded the first with Dave Cookie, and it gone very well, and then we got together in the studio and we laughed probably for about 3 weeks, and we put some of these fantastic songs, and I still sing your songs nearly more than any other single artist and because of the integrity of the lyrics.
There's the wordsmithery. You know, people have been picking up lines like "colour in your love" and that kind of thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful bit of imagery.
How do you do it?
So,
what comes first? What's the process?
What, the chicken or the egg kind of
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
People always ask that. It's really hard. Big key to a song for me is having one really strong image. And like, my life's an empty page for you to colour in. That's where that song started. You know, and
and you work out from that.
yeah, really, very often. I mean, the hook, you know, with any kind of pop form song, is very often crucial. You know, it's the thing you remember.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of, let's say, the line to hang your hat on. You know, really important line, and having a starting point. I mean, where it actually comes from, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm a magpie for ideas. From everywhere. You know, you pick up bits of other people's conversations, other stuff, and I don't know. There's just, you know, the power of language has always been. You know, I've always loved.
You've loved words, haven't you?
I totally love words, and you know, for me, as you'll know, I mean, you know, musically, I'm not a virtuoso instrumentalist such as yourself or anybody else, but actually, the music for me, it's almost secondary. It's a carpet for the words, for the poetry to sit on. And I do love poetry, which is why sometimes I despair of a lot of modern songs where the lyrics are like completely throwaway. All right, I mean, there's all kinds of different music, and it doesn't always have to have deep, meaningful lyrics. But for me, that's always been important, that the lyrics, you know...
They speak.
They can challenge people. They can sometimes be difficult. You know, and that's you know, songs, you know, I was brought up, I started learning to play, I started learning to write in the times of Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Paul Simon, Jackson Brown. Great songwriters. Great lyric writers.
Billy Joel
as well, yeah. So...
Bernie Taupin. And you actually, you know, your song is a little bit funny. That kind of imagery that struck me as a child, as a poet, as somebody who studied English literature at university. So language was important to me as well as music.
But, I mean, that's a good example, you know, the beginning of your song. I mean, it's a little bit funny. That's a weird way to start a song. It's a weird first line. You don't automatically think of it. But it's great.
And it really does...
pulls you in as soon as you
does.
start. And in a way, you know, not comparing myself with Bernie Taupin, but you start a song with, I'm nothing without you, I'm not ashamed to say. Certainly from a faith point of view, it can suddenly make you go, maybe, you know.
What we got?
Someone said about your children's song, I like vegetables, but I don't like sprouts.
Yes, that's a very deep, one of the most deeply meaningful.
Go on, give us a go on, off you go.
I won't remember it all because the whole list of
Just
vegetables.
the first line will entertain me.
I like vegetables, they make me big and strong. I like vegetables, I could eat them all day long. I'm guessing now, broccoli and carrots, spinach and peas. Something amounts to French beans. I like vegetables, there's only one left out. I like vegetables, but I won't eat sprouts.
You see, I knew that we'd get down to the heart of things here.
Yeah.
Right, and
a lot of kids songs.
There have been many others, but I'm trying to keep track of what's going on here.
I mean, look now. So, just, I want you to sing another song now. We'll come back to the whole thing, but you just, for many people, they don't, who may not have known you before, but you wrote some great, huge hits in America, and you've had some #1 hits over here. Who would you have worked with at that time that they would have heard of, so that they can do a reference cell?
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, Cliff Richard's the obvious one. That was the first cover I ever had. You know, when I was working with Nutshell.
Yes.
And this would have been around about 1978, again, probably about that time. And Cliff used to do a gospel tour every year for Tear Fund.
Yeah.
And he always used to take a support act. And cutting to the chase, he took us as his support act that year. And so we did support, and we did backing vocals for him as well.
Yes.
Which was great to do. And one of the songs we did on that tour was a song called Thief in the Night.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to play because I'm in a seriously wrong tune.
No,
Needs a 12-string.
But we know the song.
And, Cliff covered it. Now, back in the day, I was, 24 years old or something. Yeah, but, so I say 4 years old, 24 years old.
Yeah.
But the way it works, people often ask, how it works when someone else does your song, and do they pay you to do it? First I heard of it was when Cliff's manager called up and said, "What do you think of Cliff's version of Thief in the Night?" And it's like, excuse me? So it was on an album called Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Yeah.
Along with a couple of other songs.
Yeah,
Actually, Dave had a song on there as well. In fact, a song with me called Has to Be You, Has to Be Me. So, nobody has to ask your permission to put it on a record.
No.
And in a sense, over the years, I've learned it doesn't really matter as long as they know the address to send a check to.
The royalties.
But, so that was the first time really anyone else recorded a song of mine. And I remember celebrating, it shows you how long ago it was. I went out and bought a Sony Walkman. Do you remember them?
I do.
I've still got it as a souvenir. It doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah. Still got it sitting on the shelf. So I don't know how I got into habit.
It's about singing, writing famous songs.
Yeah. So I mean, Cliff's, bless him, has done a few over
Quite of
the
yours,
years.
yeah.
And
you were involved in Millennium Prayer as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
You wrote that.
Millennium Prayer's kind of a funny one in a sense. If I'm really honest, I wouldn't say it's the song I'm proudest of. No. I mean, it was a #1.
Nice idea. #1 hit.
At the Millennium. It was an idea, exactly that. It wasn't really a song. It was basically the Lord's Prayer.
Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Set to Old Lang Syne.
Yeah.
And it was part of a musical called Hopes and Dreams.
Yes.
Which is where it started. And again, a similar thing happened. Cliff, I asked him to guest on that album, and he did. He sang what then was called the Lord's Prayer, not the Millennium Prayer.
Yes.
Because the whole album, Hopes and Dreams, was based on the Lord's Prayer. And again, the same thing happened. In fact, it was a sad situation, really. You remember Jill Dando?
Yes.
When she was murdered. She was a friend of Cliff's. And basically, there was a big memorial service for her at All Souls in Langham Place.
Yes.
And Cliff was asked to sing one of my songs, a song called This Love, which actually he'd done before as a duet with Tammy Wynette.
Okay.
And he asked me and Mo and Annie from Nutshell,
to go and sing.
I think Network 3, as we were called
Yes,
then, to do the backing vocals. So we turned up to All Souls. It was a lovely, great honour to be asked to do it. And Cliff comes in with I think it was still a cassette in those days, and said, "This is the Christmas single. This is the Lord's Prayer. It's going to be my Christmas." And I'm like, "What?" I didn't know.
Just that.
Just like that. It's great. And basically the rest of that is kind of history because, those who are old enough to remember it, it was controversial.
Yes, very.
There were a lot of people who hated it. Some Christians as well.
Yeah.
Two things for me were important. One was quite funny and one was really lovely, is when it hit #1, and there was all stuff in the newspapers. I was fending off the Sun, the Mirror, all kinds of stuff. And Graham Kendrick phoned me.
Yeah.
He was a neighbour of mine at the time. He
Yes.
said, whatever anyone else says, this has got the words of the Lord
Yeah.
to millions of people
Yes.
who may never have heard it,
Yes.
may not understand it.
Yes.
You know, and I remember that. And someone from my church, I was in Croydon at the time, said, I heard a bunch of kids on the top deck of a bus going through Croydon singing it. You know. And the other thing was, we weren't sure, just before Christmas, it looked like it was going to get knocked off the number one spot. I think it was something, I can't remember what it was, one of those ridiculous Christmas songs was coming up.
Stupid.
And a week or so before the chart came out, George Michael, who at the time had not covered himself with glory, let's say, wrote or was interviewed by the Evening Standard, and he basically slagged off the song. And the word he used that was really crucial, I think, it was vile use of, like, the Lord's Prayer and whatever. And it's like, coming from him at that point, it was weird.
Yes.
But the next week it sold another 30,000 and stayed at number one. So thank you, George. It was kind of a strange one.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Sing us a song. Sing us another song. Sing another song. One of yours, I don't care what. As you can tell, we're just going along with this.
Well,
This
we
is
will.
lovely.
That's how I love it. Let me do one of mine. It's relatively new. And, you know, obviously, so many people, I mean, have been caught in this kind of whole, you know, however well you're coping with lockdown and whatever area or tier you're in, there is an atmosphere of anxiety, almost hangs in the air, you know, uncertainty, anxiety, where's it going, what's going to happen, and genuine fear for some people, as well as the complete uncertainty of financial stuff and how they're going to keep going. And little tune here. And this is, I mean, I've only done one solo album really in the last 5 or 6 years, and this is from an album called Being Myself. But it relates, I think, very well to lockdown, but it also relates to the kind of unexpected in life, which very often for people is an illness, you know. And we know, you know, I know you've had your struggles, haven't you, struggles with illness? I mean, what people may not know is, you know, my wife has been really ill this last year. Is better, much better, but it's a slow process. And these are things like you're cruising along in life, and everything seems like it's fine, and then something comes up and bites you in the backside. And you think, why didn't that, you know, why? Why didn't that happen? Why does that shake all the things I was trusting in and believing in? And it's really hard. So this is, yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there who might be feeling like this. This is called Faith Town. There may be trouble waiting round the bend, just when you least expect, and it can sneak up behind you and take you by surprise. You never know what's coming next. All of a sudden, out of the blue, a problem comes along, and all you take for granted that feels so right, suddenly all goes wrong. Sometimes the world can play dirty tricks on you. Life can take you unprepared. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it can be bad. Sometimes it's downright stupid and unfair. Hey, welcome to Faith Town, where your doubts line up to meet. This is Faith Town. Unanswered prayers walk the street here in Faith Town. Your head and heart may disagree, but living in Faith Town, sometimes all that you can do is just believe. No easy answers, no guarantees. Is it all just twisted fate? Never really sure whether to believe in providence or lucky breaks. So many things that we never understand. Guess they don't matter anyway, 'cause the cards life deals are the only cards you get. That's the only hand that you can play. Welcome to Faith Town, where some things are never sure. This is Faith Town. You can knock on every door here in Faith Town. There's always reasons you can't see living in Faith Town. Sometimes the best that you can do is just believe. Just believe. Welcome to Faith Town. There's so much you'll never know here in Faith Town. Sometimes you've got to let it go. This is Faith Town, where earth and heaven interweave, living in Faith Town. Sometimes the best that you can do. This is Faith Town, where earth and heaven interweave, living in Faith Town. Sometimes the best that you can do is just believe. Just believe.
Oh, goodness.
That was fantastic,
just-
Paul, and really struck a chord with a number of people.
Me, for
really
example.
helpful. Yeah, no, absolutely spot on. Really spot on.
I'm loving the way this works. You know, we're all missing playing live to real people.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, when you're playing to an audience, right, you don't get the chance to suddenly get
No.
instant
It's
responses.
great. It's great. Can
Which
I
is
just
a really
say,
nice
talk
thing
about
to do.
instant response? Can you talk slightly close when you're singing? It's fine, but apparently talking, they're not hearing
Well, that's
you
because
as well.
you're sitting over there and you're sitting
I know.
over there.
I'm sorry. Don't
58.
talk to me,
What are we
Paul.
getting-
Just talk to Jonathan.
Can you mute the... Oh, actually, it's giving you a nice bit of...
Well, yeah, it
You're
sounds
getting
quite
it
nice
back.
from
It's
there.
nice,
Yeah,
it's getting
yeah.
back.
Get a bit of fallback.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting about for me, because there are a lot of people who are watching out there who don't have a faith, all right? They don't have a faith at all. I mean, this evening has been said. These 30 shows have been about people of faith and of no faith. We said it,
Yeah.
or people sitting on that that fence and they don't know quite where they are if they know anything. But what you're talking about, an intervention. I know people out there right now. I know somebody who's had a really bad time, again, with cancer. And he's sitting out there and he's been in for months. And it's that legs from underneath you.
Yeah.
And just talking to him before, and I know you and I, we're close to tears a lot. We cry easier. Have you noticed that? I mean, the tears come quickly. Yeah. And then what you start to see is all these hurdles to belief. You say, well, if this happens, and why is it like this? But in fact, sometimes I love that where heaven and earth interweave. That is such a brilliant line. Now, this is why I love your songs. This is why we're going to sing. We're going to sing God of the Moon and Stars.
That'll be marvellous.
Okay, because I want to do it now, and I want to say commend it to people. And people of you who haven't got faith out there, just want to do a quick a mention for some people out there. And I just want to sing a song for I see trees are green.
Oh, this is for Graham.
This is for Graham. And Graham, you asked for this. And red roses too for Graham and Sadie. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies blue and clouds of white, a bright blessed day, a dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you and you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Actually, I always like to sing that for people because actually, although there's so much crapola out there, some really upsetting people, there's the world that we celebrate is a wonderful world. And introduce God of the Moon and Stars for us, because this is a song I've sung for years and years and years and years and years and years. After every concert, at the end of every concert, this is the song.
Did I ever tell you the story? Did you ever hear the story?
No, never.
I mean, I'll keep it short.
I'm going to get the whole thing. Go on.
I was working down in Eastbourne,
Yes.
where we know, studio. I used to work in loads, and there was an issue going on at that time, which I'm not going to go into the details of what it was, but if I say to you, it involved kind of copyright, music lawyers, legal stuff going on, and basically it was a huge injustice that was being done to me and my family.
Yeah.
And I had a phone call late one night from one of the lawyers, whatever, and I came off the phone like purple with anger. Now, I'm a very calm person normally, Jonathan, but honestly, I was consumed with hatred at that moment.
Yeah.
I went down to the studio and I sat, and they have a nice grand piano, and the studio was empty. I think everyone else had gone out to have a curry or whatever. Yeah. And I sat at the grand piano, and as you know, sometimes it's just therapy to play, just to hit it.
And he's a very nice player, actually.
Whatever.
You're a nice player. Lovely player. Recorded much of his stuff. You can get it on his bandcamp.com, so listen to it.
But anyway, so I sat and I played, and I was struck with an immensely simple thought. And usually I say, a song, when I do workshops and things, I'm at pains to say, it's not this, you have a flash of inspiration, in the middle of the night, and suddenly you've written the song, and there it is, it's marvellous, it's all done. Yeah. I mean, it's hard work. It's 90% editing. Yes. I change things years after I've written them. Yeah. But this song, I had this idea of all the people that I basically didn't think God had any business loving. Thinking, I don't actually, if God likes them and loves them, and I'm really not interested. And then I kind of thinking, well, that's not quite right. And so I made a list. It's what I kind of call a list song. Yeah. And that was really fast. I mean, I wrote pages, basically, of people I didn't like.
Yeah.
It was Wesleyan proportions, for anyone. And what took the time was cutting it down to like 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah. But essentially, it was a list of thinking, how can, if there is a God, how can he actually let this happen? How can he care for these people, whatever? Basically. And what it came down to as a thought was, well, actually, who is exempt from the grace of God? Are there people who are so far out that they cannot be redeemed or whatever in any way? And much as I would like to have thought that, and it'd be nice, it'd be so easy if we could think, well, actually, God just likes the people we like. He likes the musicians, or he likes the Christians, or he likes just the Methodists, or whatever. But we don't get to pick and choose. You know, God is, and I think C.S. Lewis says something like this, God is either God of all or nothing. You know, and if I want, in my totally stumbling, fragile way, to ever want to call myself a Christian, then I have to accept that that's how it is. It's for everybody. And that, essentially, the song is a song of inclusivity. You know, that no one is beyond the reach of the grace of God. God of the moon and stars, God of the near and far, God of these fragile hearts we are, I come to you. God of our history, God of the future that will be. Oh, what will you make of me if I come to you? God of the meek and mild, God of the reckless and the wild, God of the unreconciled, I come to you. God of our life and death, God of our secrets unconfessed, God of our every living breath, I come to you. God of the rich and poor, God of the princess and the whore, God of the ever open door, I come to you. God of the unborn child, God of the pure and undefiled, God of the pimp and pedophile, I come to you. God of the war and peace, God of the junkie and the priest, God of the greatest and the least, I come to you. God of the refugee, God of the prisoner and the free, God of my doubts and certainty, I come to you. Yeah. God of our joy and grief, God of the lawyer and the thief, God of my faith and unbelief, I come to you. Yeah. God of the wounds we bear, God of the deepest dreams we share, God of our unspoken prayer, I come to you. God of a world that's lost, God of a lonely, lonely cross, God who has come to us, we come to you. Amen.
Oh, do you know what?
That was very powerful.
It was almost like we'd rehearsed.
We should do it for
we should, yeah.
And one day when I grow up,
That's about it.
let's
retrain.
Oh,
I'll retrain as you, and you can
yeah,
retrain
okay,
as me.
well, that'd be fine. All you need to do is just go, yeah, yeah. All right, loads of that. That's what you need to do. And what do you like singing Mozart? I don't know. I'm just asking. So responses
Just
online.
people saying that they're just weeping at the sort
Yeah,
of
I
the
had a
power
tear in my
of
eye. I
it.
still do
Yes,
myself.
yeah.
It's just, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say this.
Oh
When
no!
we recorded this song, we just talked about this, didn't we, in the studio? When we recorded this song in 2003, let's just say that I had no moral courage, and I should have had, and I didn't. And ever since, I put on there the words that I used. God of the you substitute. You did. I'm amazed that you did. And what I needed was a slap. And what you did was you rewrote it for me.
Yeah, but I wanted to hear you sing
I
it.
know you wanted to sing, and I sing it so much, and it's one of those. But God of the outcast and reviled, but God of the pure and undefiled, God of the outcast and reviled. No, it's not. Is it that line? Yes, it is that line. And you wrote. What's the line you wrote?
For you,
That's the one you wrote for him.
What's the
original
line
line
you
is God of the pimp and paedophile.
God of the pimp and paedophile. Now, you see, at that time, I just thought, people will turn off. And at the time, if you remember paedophilia, right at the top of the news.
It's partly why it was there.
And that's why. And at that point, I didn't have the courage. I think we are now re-recording it on Tuesday.
Great.
Tuesday,
Great.
right? And you know what we're going to do? I'm going to use those words.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad, because that's
Well,
what
it's
I wrote.
right, because what?
And it's like,
At what point?
What I never wanted to do, you didn't want to write them to shock.
No.
Just deliberately to do that. And almost an example, and you maybe don't know this, there's another version of this song. I don't know if you know a Dutch singer, very well-known worship leader, Kees Kraaienoord.
No.
It done a lot of stuff, and he had quite a hit with this song in English, in Dutch, if you see what I mean, in Holland.
Yes.
But he got hold of an original demo of this song, and my original first line was God of the moon and stars, God of the gay and singles bars. Now, I changed that because it was too soon in the song to have that. Yes. It was just too early to have something, we are talking 20-odd years ago.
Yeah.
But there are several stories. I mean, again, it's time, but.
But I think it's quite interesting, isn't it, how... and I think that what's wonderful about this song is the way that it incorporates the people. I have people who say, no, we don't have people like that in our church. That comment, the very say, and I say, what? Who would you like to have in your church? Where would you like them to go? Where would you like them to be? And if this church is not for everybody, it's for no one. And I think that's exactly the point.
That's right.
The point.
We can all sing the songs about we celebrate this and that. What we're not very good at is dealing with issues.
Yes.
Depression, that's a big one. We understand this.
You and I understand
and
this.
it's like, it's a vicious circle if you are a person of faith, because, firstly, you're not supposed to be depressed because you're supposed to be full of the joy of the Lord all the time. Yeah. And you're not, so you feel guilty, so you get more depressed.
Yes.
And you just go down and downhill. But these are, and certainly the times we're in now, I mean, the mental health effects of COVID and lockdown on everybody. Yeah. Let's be honest, if you're a person of faith, it doesn't protect you from that. No. It maybe gives you a comfort. I mean, it's something. I mean, maybe many people out there might disagree with me, but it's not. Well, it's not a panacea. It's not a panacea.
Right in, and I know many people out there who do think, who just say, well, just pray more or read the Bible, and you'll be fine. And actually, and that is fine too. When you listen to that song, What's it always done for you? What's your response? How do you respond to it?
I think it's always been. Hearing the story behind it was fantastic. Actually, I think it's always been one of those songs that stopped me in my tracks, because it's reminding me that we are all in the same boat. We are not better than anyone. We are just all individuals. There's no ranking. You know, we are all in the same situation.
When I sung it in concerts, because you're on the desk, you sell the albums.
Yes, it's always been that people have recognised that it includes them, or it includes their family. And I know that a number of people have written to me privately and said one of the reasons why they love this evening is because it includes everyone. Yes. It isn't, well, you can come if you know, this, that, or the other, but actually what we want it to be is all inclusive, and that song is all about being inclusive, and it's all about saying that everyone is not just acceptable, but everyone is loved, actually. And as Terry just wrote, you know, the line, the prisoner and the free, you know, when you sing this for Prison Fellowship, it's really important.
You know, we visit prisons, and
I've done this song in prisons. And
it's so powerful.
It's very powerful.
How does it go in prisons?
I did it, well, a long time ago, since I did it in Exeter, and Exeter Prison, which is a horrible prison.
Speak into the microphone.
Sorry, I'm talking sideways.
So it's a horrible prison.
Exeter, really old-fashioned, horrid prison, and people wept. Prisoners, these tough.
Yeah.
Just because the idea of them being included with the rest of us.
I know, because they're not being...
They don't even think they're part of the human race.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
and there are plenty of people like that, and people, when you're depressed, you can feel like that.
Yes.
You feel like you're distanced. Can I squeeze one in, and then I'll shut up?
No, don't shut up. You're here to
While
sing.
we're on that subject, I mean, this is actually, this was originally written about depression. It's from an album called Rites of Passage, which I did with Dan Wheeler, who's sadly now disappeared to Nashville, so he's not around, which is very annoying.
Played on our last album.
Yeah, wonderful player. But it's, I think, I've sung it a few times, and I sang it at someone's funeral recently, and I've dedicated it to a few people just individually online, because I think it's very relevant at the moment. And if I don't get too culturally highbrow here, it starts with a poem. When we feel empty of life and full of loss, when every day is a mountain to climb, every minute a burden, every second hurts, and we feel betrayed, when nothing has meaning and everything seems hopeless, Lord, bring hope. When the weight of stolen possibilities is heavy, when the most eloquent prayers we can find are tears, and the world is merciless, Lord, have mercy. Where chaos reigns and our hearts are in turmoil, when we rage against you, when our belief walks a tightrope and faith hangs by a thread, when we feel empty of life and full of loss, Lord, bring peace. Some days the world seems to steal all your hopes and dreams. Every road is the wrong direction. Some nights you lose it all. Your house of cards begins to fall. The lines are down. You've lost connection. When the darkness closes in, hold on to the strength within. You can rest in me when you're weary. You can rest in me through the tears. In my eyes you'll see a glimpse of eternity, and you can rest in me. Sometimes you can't believe the empty place that life can be. How does the world keep on turning? And when all is said and done, there's a flame of hope in everyone. Just needs one spark to set it burning. And no matter what your heart goes through, still my song belongs to you. You can rest in me when you're weary. You can rest in me through the tears. In my eyes, you'll see a glimpse of eternity. You can rest in me. Oh, I can't take all your pain away this side of heaven's door, but I can be a comfort when you're hurting. Oh, in all of your uncertainty, my love for you is sure. You are beautiful. You are blessed. Oh, you are beautiful. You are blessed. And you can rest in me when you're weary. You can rest in me through the tears. In my eyes, you'll see a glimpse of eternity, and you can rest in me. You can rest in me. You can rest in me.
Thank you. That's
Wonderful. And again, it's really touched a chord with many people that a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are struggling with looking after other people. And particularly during this lockdown period, it's proved to be really difficult. But they've just taken those words and they've heard them tonight, that we can rest in him, which is amazing.
And we're going to do sort of the... why don't we do this one? With the other guitar. Or do you want to just sing the...
Just sing it. It's fine.
Bang! Come on. A minor. Those of you who've received the recording, received the choir bit, it's sounding absolutely fab.
Stunning,
and
guys.
we're sending it off to mastering this week.
Hopefully.
We're finished, hopefully, we nearly finished the whole thing, and it will be with us, hopefully, within 2 weeks. We hope so, and the album will be in your midst and be posted out to you, I hope, within 2 weeks. And it's sounding absolutely epic. And you,
exciting.
as a choir, are sounding epic.
So
right?
now is your
I have
chance,
to say,
guys.
Singing with me, you start to sound good. All right? I'm just saying. All right, and it goes like this. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. All together sing it with now. You just
Call out my name, and you know wherever I am,
I'll come
running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall,
all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. Do you want to sing the next verse? No?
I haven't got much voice tonight.
If the sky above you, sorry about that, grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together now and call my name out loud, and soon I'll be knocking at your door. All together now.
you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am,
I'll come running to see you again.
winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call.
And I'll be there. Yes, I will. Let's end it. You've got a friend. Oh, darling.
You got a friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet darling.
Oh, you got a friend.
Oh, my
Oh,
sweet.
ain't it good to know?
You've got a friend. Come
Ain't
on.
it good to know you got a friend?
Oh, yeah, you got
Ain't
it.
it good to know
Oh, you gotta know.
you got a friend?
Last time.
You got a friend.
Well, we went through that once before we did it. We could do this middle section. We haven't got the time for
Never
that.
mind.
I'm just
never
as well we
mind,
didn't, really.
never mind.
No, do you know what? It's fantastic. Put the guitar down. I want to get on to another. I want you to sing with me, please. Child,
Sounds like an exam.
can you
It's
now?
44. 21, 44.
I know. Well, we might go 5 minutes. Hey, how would people feel if we went 5 or 10 minutes over tonight? Could
Well,
you
I know you're
could you
tired
write
because
down-
it feels like it's sort of coming
Just
up to
write
11.
down-
But
just-
do you know what? You don't get this opportunity very often. So those of you who can stay with us. We'd love to have you.
We'd love to have you. Please write in if you don't mind. If you're okay with it, please just type in now. Okay, all right? Because we'd love to have an audience. If you're all too tired because you're wimps and you're wimping out on me, if that's what you're doing, and you're resisting this opportunity to hear the great singer-songwriter, what's his name, Paul Field.
Listen, I'm struggling to stay awake. I was out, I had a 2.5 mile walk with my grandkids this morning.
All right, absolutely.
Up and down a very steep hill.
So, well, you can go to bed soon, all right? You can go to bed soon.
Well, I'm waking up
You've got
now.
Great. It's soon. It's going to go up there, and you'll go and you'll sleep until whenever. Anyway, right. Child, when did you write this?
That's a good question. It's a long time ago. I honestly don't know the date. In the 90s, at some point.
Yeah. So it was early 90s, and we picked it up then, didn't we? We
Yeah.
picked it up and ran with that.
And to be honest, I if I'm honest, I can't give you a specific event that triggered this song. It's a general song. I mean, you were talking to your friend Andy, was it earlier?
Yes.
So I mean, talking about children in general,
Yes.
Yes.
you know, I mean, this is not talking about children really in this country, but this is children are always the victims,
Yes.
one way or another. Whether
Yes.
it's at the bottom end of the food bank chain,
Yes.
or whether it's the victims of war, politicians. You know, they're the ones that always come off worse, it seems. And that's like, and the older you get, you know, you've got grandkids, I've got grandkids. And the more that happens, or the more, you know, it makes you so much more aware.
It does.
Of your kids and of the world and you see the pictures, you know, whether it's in Syria or whether it's in Iraq, wherever it is, you see the pictures of these kids. And, you know, a particular thing for me, you know, over the years has been human trafficking and, you know, people trafficking and the families that are, you know, trying to escape with their kids on tiny boats. I mean, it's, you know, and paying, it's just awful the way that.
You become involved in that campaign. Have you done?
Yeah, I've done a couple of projects.
With
one called, which I'd recommend to people actually. Certainly, anyone who's involved in teaching. I know that's, you know, different at the moment because everything's different. But we did a project. First project was called Cargo, which I did completely off my own bat. But it was kind of taken up by Hull University. Hull being the home of William Wilberforce. You know, where the beginning of the end of the slave trade started. And we did a project called Stolen Lives, which is primarily aimed at youngsters, to make them aware of the fact that, firstly, one of the key slogans was, it's not just history, but it's happening now, which it is. There are more people, far more people in slavery today than there ever were in Wilberforce's time, different kinds of slavery. And essentially, this is a free resource. It's web-based. So there's like 17 videos, songs, bits of narration, poetry.
So people can pick it up for their schools.
People can pick it up, they can use it, they can download it.
So it's for what kind of age group are you talking about?
Teenagers, I would say. You know, anything from kind of
14,
11 upwards even.
Okay.
But it doesn't just have to be schools, you know, anyone who can use it. It's stolenlives.co.uk.
Okay, stolenlives.co.uk.
So I'd recommend having a look at that. But anyway,
sing this. Let's sing it. My memory of this was that, of course, my son Daniel, who
he sang on it. He sang the beginning.
He sang the beginning, and then my son Nick sung the word "today" right at the end. If you remember.
Yeah.
So. Do you
It's
remember
very
this?
lovely. I do
His
remember
just
it.
before Dan's voice broke.
Yeah, we wanted to capture Dan's voice. He had a very
it was
sweet voice, didn't he?
I can't remember. How do we
So
do
you're
it?
going to do that bit now, Sue, are you hearing that?
I think not.
It was that. This is.
There's a child with tears in her eyes, staring down a war-torn street, where burned out tanks and empty shells lie all around her feet. Her friends and family, home all gone, her world is torn apart. She pays for someone else's politics with the scars across her heart. See this child with tears in her eyes.
There's a child with pain on his face, looking out across the hill, the withered trees and hard-baked ground, a silent, lifeless still, his last meal long forgotten, and his next may never come. Someone stole away his future before his life's begun. See this child.
Angels cry in heaven tonight, for the children of the world. Heaven's gates are open wide for every boy and girl. They're searching for a Savior,
but who will show the way so the children of tomorrow can find the love they need?
There's a child with fear in her mind. Oh, in a twisted dream she's caught, where love and hurt go side by side, and she feels it's all her fault, because Daddy says he loves her, yeah, but he hurts her just the same, till her innocence lies shattered in confusion and in shame. See this child with fear.
Angels cry in heaven tonight for the children of the world. Heaven's gates are open wide for every boy and girl, searching for a Savior, and who will show the way. Nice. So the children of tomorrow,
Have they need a star to follow,
so the children of tomorrow
can find the love they need
today. I pointed to Sue,
Beautiful.
but
No, I
can I
know,
just
but
point
I-
out that Sue's not
Yes.
very well today.
I'd spent some time with my lovely granddaughter the other day, who shared everything with me, including her cold. And
That is the drawback
it's-
of grandchildren.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
very
there are
much so.
other drawbacks. They're financial drawbacks.
yeah.
I mean, you realise you go to work for the
The
grandchildren.
trouble is now as well, in the season where everyone's starting to get
I
colds
know.
and things.
Yes.
How are you supposed to know?
So you got COVID, you go into Tesco and sneeze, and like you clear the place. It's
Yeah,
like,
and that is the point,
no,
isn't
I've
it?
just got a sniffle.
Yeah,
Look,
I
no
know.
temperature, you know.
But if you don't dare cough
Scary,
anyway, and then you're trying to suppress a cough. If
No,
you
but
try
people
doing that,
choking to death because they're
Yes,
trying not
that's
to
right.
cough.
You don't cough, no.
what did you die of? Choking. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 7 minutes
Sorry.
to, guys, but people have said that they would like to stay and have,
But
if you're going to carry on, they
well,
will
what we're
carry
going
on
to
with
do,
you.
we're just going to do a couple more songs. And what I wanted to do, actually, I mean, if you're Paul, if you're happy to stay, I mean, you can get out of the room in 5 minutes if you want, and then
I mean, I might need a comfort break in a while, but I'm
Yeah,
all right
right.
now.
People would love the promise of His grace. Actually,
They would.
They would love that one.
And I'd love to do Still You Speak, and then we go peaceful and go home. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll do that. But let's rush through and Still You Speak. Just as quick one
I should have written
about
that.
that. It's
for
on.
last night, shouldn't I? Go peaceful and go home.
That's
peaceful, go
what
home.
we do. Still You Speak. We wrote this
Yes,
song together.
yes.
We've written a
First
number of
song
songs
we ever
together.
wrote, I think. Was it-
Exactly.
was it before The Promise?
Yes, it was. It was before
Let's do it
Promise.
together, yeah.
And actually, what was interesting, you said, I need some. You'd written to me, and you said, here's some words, and you wrote these words, and you said to me, could you see if you can get a tune on the piano? See what you can do. So I'd forgotten completely, and you phoned me when you were living in Croydon, and you just said, yeah, I'll be there in an hour and a half. We'll go through the tuners. You know, you've had I'd had the words for 2 or 3 weeks, and I said, you said you've got the song, haven't you? And I went, yes. And I got off the phone, and I played it on the piano at the Beckstein. There's before the Steinway came, Beckstein, and I played that, and I played it over and over, and I kept playing it until you arrived, so that actually I could remember it because. And you said the words were, you said, that's really nice. Must have taken you quite a long time to write that. And I said, yeah.
Just shows how good we all are at bluffing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a musical career, isn't it, really?
But it's a great song. It's gone on the new album. It's gone on the second volume, and we're recording that again on Tuesday. That's the second one we're doing, and that'll be it. Do you want to sing the first verse? Yeah, you sing it.
I'll start and see where we go from there. Still you speak, if only we would listen through the noise and chaos of our days. Lord, give us time to fix our minds on you and hear what you would say.
Still you speak, if only we would listen through the wars and conflicts of our times. Lord, if each day we'd kneel and pray to you, what wisdom we could find.
Word of life, voice for every season, song of love for all our days.
Still you speak, if only we would listen and obey.
Still you speak, if only we would listen through the creeds and doctrines that divide. Lord, teach us still to seek your will and let your voice speak through our lives. Word of life, voice for every season, song of love for all our days.
Deliberate mistakes.
Oh, still you speak, if only we would listen and obey.
If only we would listen through the years that come and go so fast.
Lord, may your ways
shape
all our days until we see your face
and last.
Oh, word of life,
word of life,
voice for every season, song of love for all our days. Word of life, voice for every season, song of love for all our days.
Still you speak, if only we would listen and obey. Plus this note. Just
thrown in for free.
thrown in for some
Isn't that what you classical musicians call an accidental?
accidental, yeah, an accidental one.
It's a posh word for a mistake.
Yeah, I screwed up. And Promise of His Grace. Now,
A few people have asked for this. Chloe, I know you found this very helpful this week to listen to, as have a lot of people. And Evelyn and Roy, this you asked for your wedding anniversary, 55 years. I'm going by my memory here. I forgot to write it down, but Evelyn and Rye Blackman, happy anniversary.
Across the changes through the years, eternal God, your love comes down to lead us on. So as we walk with you, our every step is holy ground.
You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. And we will seek to know you more in every word of every prayer, and you will keep your timeless faithfulness. Through every breath you will be there.
You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. Sing it for us, Paul.
If doubts and fears come closing in, we lean on you when strength may fail. And Father God, you pour your spirit down. The clouds will clear, the truth prevail.
You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace.
This is the hope for all the world,
The
nails that held God in our place. This is the love that brings forgiveness. This is the promise of your grace.
What a pleasure. I mean, just to sing it with you. When we wrote this, I remember writing it on a piano that was, I had about 4 keys. It was in Eastbourne. And it
It's a
literally was
horrible
a piano
piano.
that only had, every other was literally not working. It didn't work. There was nothing. And I had this tiny, tiny amount of about 2 octaves. And I wrote the whole song on 2 octaves. And I remember, and you presented these words, and they were such fantastic words. And how that has not become a hymn for today.
I wonder that too. And Still You Speak.
And Still You Speak. And we love people to take and run with these if you can. So just before we go, just a word about...
Word from your sponsor.
a word from our sponsor.
A few people have been sharing, how much they've enjoyed what you've been doing, Paul. And we've had your website address up there, so that people can go to your website and check out your songs and so on, because I know that people have enjoyed them so much. Check out your albums. The couple of albums where Paul and Jonathan have featured together, Rhythms of the Heart, We are the only people, I think, that sell this, actually. But this is has got the promise of His grace on it, God of the Moon and Stars, and also Go Peaceful. So this is a beautiful, reflective album. It's really lovely. It's sort of stand out because it's so reflective.
And people bought it for
others,
years and years and years and years.
Beautiful.
And it was one of those. I mean, it's been selling for that many years. So please.
Still You Speak is on this one, All That Matters. So if you would like to order those or any others, it's as before, jonathanvera.com. And you can listen to the tracks. You can send off the order will come through to me, and Jonathan will sign them, and I will post them to you. So that will happen this week.
And I'm sure the same will happen for Paul with any of his products. He will sign them and send them.
I mean, but so you said he put up the best place. I mean, there's the website, but also paulfield.bandcamp.com.
Oh, right. Yes, we got that up as well.
Yes.
Paulfield.bandcamp.com.
There's all kinds of stuff. There's like individual songs to download. There's really old albums, the old Nutshell stuff's up there. There's a whole mixture of stuff.
Can I just say?
To download, and I can do your CDs as well.
Can I just say? I remember standing in, I think it might have been the Albert Hall, listening to you.
Fly away,
and I was so enjoying it. Little did I know that one day you would be a close personal friend, and I'd be singing with you and my husband. That is such a treat for me. I can't tell you. It's been lovely.
She's so easily impressed, Paul. That's
I know.
The thing.
I'm trying to wonder what the gig was.
Right.
It was the Albert Hall in Cleethorpes.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. As opposed to Skelmersdale.
I played the Albert Hall as a 17-year-old starlet. I won a Baptist songwriting singing competition.
Started
Really?
young.
It was fantastic. I remember it. I've got a picture. I was wearing a lemon yellow shirt.
As you do in those days, yes.
And great flared. It was awful.
No, you weren't wearing that when I was hearing you. Not sure.
I also played it with the Methodist Youth Orchestra. I played Thief of the Night with the whole orchestra.
Yeah, you were big in
the
Methodists,
in the
weren't
leather
you?
trousers and the whole bit.
They loved you, the Methodists, until you brought that bottle of wine on stage. Anyway,
Those of you who've stuck with us, and actually it's the majority of you, so thank you very much that you have been with us. Hardly anybody's gone, which is lovely.
I should think so too.
Those of you who have donated this last week, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I know that we say it every week, but actually we mean it.
You keep us
You keep us
literally
afloat.
alive.
So thank
you
you very
do
much.
literally, and I thank you personally. I know Sue deals with the money, but I thank you. I work on these albums and trying to do things for you, and making sure that you have these evenings. And it would be lovely if you don't have to give much, £10 or £15. It just makes if you've got it. If you haven't got it, don't give it. Then other people pay for it.
For those people who don't have it, we will be giving away 25% of
We
it
give away
to people
25%.
that we know needs it. So the information's there, paypal.me/JonathanVera, or if you write to me on sue@jonathanvera.com, then I will happily give you any information. Those of you who also would like to join the Facebook group, sorry, Rachel, I'm jumping around all over the place. So if you want to be part of the JV Community Facebook group, which is amazing, and we have people sharing needs that they've got, people asking to pray, people asking for help. We also have people like Peter telling terrible jokes, but that's fine. We love you anyway.
You're not banned yet, Peter, but there will come a moment when.
But we love the banter and we love the connection between the groups. So thank you for that too. Do join on that one as well.
And finally, thank you, Sue. Thank you to you, our audience, for sticking with us. Thank you. I want you to give a big. Why is
round
he in
of
the
applause.
darkness? Why has he got?
I look better in the dark.
Oh God, we never did
all
sunshine.
this time.
It was a bit late now. There I am. Can we go back and start again then?
Can we do the gig again?
Shall we start again?
Right.
You did that deliberately, didn't you?
You
did that deliberately.
I did it deliberately, so that those of you stuck with us, you can now see him in shadow. All right?
They've all switched off now.
I'm sorry.
They've all gone, oh, what's that?
What's that? Oh no, it's an old geezer.
Yeah, get it off.
It's an old geezer with a shirt. Stop it. Anyway, look, final song. And then we'll do just a quick blessing at the end. And we thank all of you for the new, I say again, Graham and his daughter, Louise, or whoever it is. Thank you, all of you. in Australia, in South Africa. We will sing the songs,
Actually,
all that
Charlotte's in
matters.
South
Charlotte in
Africa,
South
your
Africa.
birthday this week.
Happy birthday to you, Charlotte. Thank you for being part of our community. Wendy, who's 60 tomorrow, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to Wendy, happy birthday to you. And that one was Father's Song for you, and I will do that next week, I promise, with these of these. I don't know who's in next week. I haven't got anybody yet, but we will find somebody interesting, or it'll just be me. Don't forget also the concert, the launch concert for the album, which will be in the lounge next door. We're setting up the whole thing, and it's going to be a launch concert with my boys in the band, and Mark Edwards playing the piano, and we're going to sing all the songs from the new album on the 7th, the Saturday the 7th. Okay, it's after I've seen my kidney consultant. We're seeing our surgeon this week on Thursday to tell us that she's gonna cut us here and cut us there and remove it and plug it in and do all the rest of it and
whip it out to me and whip
that's
it
just
into
to
him.
Sue, and then to me, and it's all fun and games right now. And then we do it on the 7th. Put it in your diary for those of you who paid for this our option. When you sponsored the wonderful sponsorship of the album. If you didn't and you want to be part of it,
Write to
us, and we can, to a little contribution, you can become part of that Saturday evening and join in the fun. And it will be fun, and we're trying to work out how to work it in there in the lounge. I'm sure that we can get it in somehow. Anyway.
Thank you, guys. 30 weeks, stickability.
30 weeks.
That
Let's
is
go for
amazing
31.
stuff.
Let's go for another.
Thank you.
And this one is the most beautiful song that I think one of his most beautiful songs ever written, called "Go Peaceful." Just to tell you one story about that, which was in Northern Ireland. I was doing a concert in Northern Ireland, in Belfast, but it wasn't there, and I was doing it in a theatre, and it wasn't a religious event at all. But I always finished it with "Go Peaceful." Always finished the concert with "Go Peaceful." And at the end of it, this great, huge guy, muscles in his muscles, tattoo bedecked, all over his face, a unionist, really, really hard man. And he came up to me, he said, and he just started weeping. He said, "That last song you sang," he said, "what was it? This made me," he said, "see everyone through heaven's eyes. I just want to say thank you." And he said, "Who?" But he was literally standing there weeping. He said, "I've never heard it so beautiful in my life."
I love
Here it is.
Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
Sing with us soon.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame.
Together.
God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known
by love. Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. Together. God will hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be God hold you and fold you and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known by love. Wow, what an evening. What an evening. We've had a lovely time. The Lord, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you His peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you His peace and give you His peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn His face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn His face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you His peace and give you His peace. Paul, thank you so much for coming in.
Paul.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an
Brilliant.
absolute
Come again
total
soon.
pleasure. Come again.
Soon.
Good night, everybody. God bless you.
Good night.
See you next time.
See you soon. Bye.